Hello, citizens of Oklahoma and America. Today I want to go over a few more things with the CIB, specifically in some questions that I had asked Administrator Hubbard with the CIB, which is the Construction Industries Board, if you remember from our last podcast. Anyways, I also like to make note before I start that I did invite the CIB, or a representative from the CIB, to come on this podcast and to discuss these items, with me in this public forum. They obviously did not make any response in any way, shape, or form as to responding to anything that I brought up, my questions with them or things that I'm bringing up in these podcasts. But today I wanted to go over some email correspondence I had, and this all started off back in May 2024, so a little over a year ago. So here, is my first email that I sent to Administrator Hubbard. It says, I am wanting to get confirmation on some CIB processes and answers to some questions about these processes at the CIB. I believe you are the correct individual for me to start inquiring on these items. First is a confirmation of what is my understanding of the CIB's processes. It is my understanding that the CIB investigators routinely go throughout the state and visit construction sites to check on electrical, plumbing, and mechanical licensures. That these construction site visits are a normal part of the duties of the CIB and not predicated on any type of complaint or inquiry to confirm that contractors have the appropriate licensure. That the CIB has not and currently does not check with local jurisdictions that are their own authority having jurisdiction to confirm when necessary that they are using licensed building code inspectors. That the only time the CIB ever gets involved with building inspector licensure is if there is a complaint. Otherwise, the CIB makes no attempt to confirm building inspector licensure compliance. If any part of this is incorrect, please let me know what the correct process is. In regards to the decisions for the CIB not to check with local jurisdictions for compliant building inspector licensure, is this an administrative decision, a board decision, and or other state entity decision? I would like to know who the decision makers are, so I may know to whom I should address with any further questions or concerns. Final question. In the case that there may be individuals doing building inspections without requiring licensures, does the CIB want to know of any individuals who are performing building inspections without proper building inspector licensing in order to address those building inspectors' licensure violations? I thank you for taking a few minutes to confirm my understanding and answering my questions. So in response to that, Administrator Hubbard responded, Dear Mr. Higley, this is a response to your email. The CIB continues to perform its mission to protect life and property by licensing and inspection of the related trades for the health, safety, and welfare of the public by following the applicable laws governing its authority. The authority governing qualifications, licensure, and complaints and investigations of violations of the Oklahoma Inspectors Act is found, and she gives the appropriate state statutes. These laws state any person may file a complaint for violations of the Act. Complaints must, 1, be in writing, 2, provide adequate information, including but not limited to the date when the alleged violation occurred, facts surrounding the event, name of the person and persons or political subdivision being complained against, and 3, provide any documented evidence to substantiate the complaint. You are free to file a written complaint at any time, providing adequate information and evidence to substantiate the complaint. Sincerely, Janis Hubbard. My response to Administrator Hubbard after that was, thank you for the reply and providing me with the process for submitting a complaint. However, you did not answer my direct questions. So I am going to accept that my understanding of your process of periodically checking trades licensures on job sites and only checking on inspector licensures is by complaint only, to be 100% accurate, that you are not willing to state who the parties are that have made that determination for that process. Furthermore, that the CIB is only going to investigate inspectors is when they have to through complaints. Unless any of these statements are incorrect and you wish to correct them, there is no reason to respond. And lastly, dear Mr. Higley, you are welcome. You may draw your own assumptions or conclusions. However, your assumptions are not facts and are not endorsed by the CIB. You asked for the process used by the CIB in regulating building inspectors, and I provided you the law along with the fact the law provides the process that the CIB follows, including the process for making a complaint. This law process has been in place for many years. If you seek to change the law, it would need to be done through the legislative process. Sincerely, Janis Hubbard. Now again, I sent this off with the deal that I wanted to confirm from them how they are proceeding with their processes. She didn't really answer those questions. She wanted to give me the process for putting in complaints. That was never my question. I never needed to know what the process to do complaints. I needed to confirm that they were sending their guys out doing site visits on mechanical, electrical, and plumbing licensures, but that they were not doing any of their own investigations of building inspectors, which she never denied any of those things, even though she confirmed that I somehow was just making my own conclusions. But she failed to inform me that my conclusions were right or wrong in any way, shape, or form. This is one of the great reasons that we need to get this out of the CIB's hands on the licensure of inspectors. They are not going out on their own accord to make sure licensures are being upheld within our local jurisdictions, or who is doing those inspections for those local jurisdictions. They are relying 100% on complaints, and I'll even say to this point, based on my past experience, they're not making much of an effort to really try to come down on anybody who is breaking the law in the inspection process. So I'll leave that at that for tonight, and next time we'll come back, we'll talk about my questions that I sent off to the inspector committee and see what they responded or did not respond at that time. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you all later. Thanks. Bye.